In the following clip, he's going to make a comparison, the author of Anxious Generation, to democracy. And I'm going to tie this back to the sports experience. And I just want to make clear, I'm not suggesting that teams operate like a democracy at all. But there are some things that coincide with the necessary requirements of figuring out how to socially adjudicate your own issue peer-to-peer that do play a part in dampening the performance level of high-level teams.
Explore, try, fail over and over and over again. So when a kid tries to build a block tower, it falls over, they do it again. So play builds brains. It's all the things you just said. Once they can master their, building block towers and running and that stuff, then it becomes social. And it's exactly that. It's basically, these are the skills of democracy. In a democracy, the whole idea is we are self-governing. We make the rules ourselves. We enforce them ourselves. That was the amazing innovation of the American experiment, it's called. And how do you learn to be self-governing? By being self-governing as a child.
Oh,
and so,
interesting.
So when the kids are on the playground, it's the things you said. They have to choose what to do. Like, what game should we play? Well, some of us want to play well, let's work it out. Okay, we'll do yours today. We'll do that one tomorrow. You have to make the rules and you have to enforce the rules. Wait, that was out of bounds. No, it wasn't. And you adjudicate it. But what we've been training our kids to do since the 90s, since we got them hyper-supervised all the time, is we're training them to report each other to the adult. So if there's a conflict, he hit me.
Yeah.
And that's training for authoritarianism. There's always an authority who will enforce things. We don't have to work it out ourselves.
Damn.
Wow.
We're training kids to, well, that's like
We're
a
priming
scary,
them for
we really are.
dictatorship.
We really are.
Yeah.
It sounds like we're priming
that's
them.
right.
That's a wild way to think of it, actually. Is like you're not teaching them to be a part of a society. You're teaching them to be a part of a monitored
power
state.
structure with an authority. That's right.
So I heard that clip that you just watched for the first time yesterday. And that's the author of The Anxious Generation speaking about his book. That validates so much of the work that I have been a part of for the last decade. I had never connected it to that, but I will tell you, the day before I listened to that clip, it stopped me in my tracks because I was just having a conversation with a team who they're, working hard to wrap their head around, guardrails as and working through conflict together. And on that call, one of the student athletes, this is a high academic institution, Division I program, and one of the athletes says, truly, like with all seriousness and curiosity, which I appreciate always, ask why isn't this all just the coaches just have to take care of it? And that is a feeling that I'm getting more and more and more. And the answer obviously is because, well, first of all, the coach isn't there all the time, but also it's a more meaningful experience if you can be a part of it rather than just doing exactly what you're told. But I have seen this, and it shows up in different ways. That was a really obvious one, but it shows up in a lot of ways. The uncomfortableness, and we talk about it as conflict resolution or having conflict, but the lack of comfort from student athletes at really high levels of, as he says, adjudicating different things that will help uphold the standards is real. It's a real challenge. And if you're trying to achieve high-end success, high performance, it's definitely a barrier. And it's why it's so important to build in systems and tool your people up to be able to do this thing that the majority, I don't have numbers on this, but I would say the majority of student athletes who are playing were sort of raised in this hyper supervised play situation. And I think the pendulum's starting to swing back a little bit now, where we're being very aware that, maybe adults shouldn't be a part of kind of adjudicating all of those conflicts. But this is definitely something that as a culture consultant, I feel regularly. And the fact that, he kind of tied it to, some of the political environment that we're in is just a whole nother level I don't necessarily want to get into, but I think it's just worth knowing, worth listening, and worth thinking about it. And if you want to have more of a conversation, absolutely, you can reach out to me. If you go to winningdeep.com and hit the contact form, you can certainly reach out, and I will be probably releasing more on this. but I just wanted to get my top level thoughts out about that particular clip.